Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome to another discussion video, guys. Today I wanted to bring up something, while yes, video game related, and yes, we did talk about this a couple weeks back, but I want to talk about it a little bit more because this is something interesting. This is something that would be very interesting to talk about, especially considering the fact this is a video game themed movie. So, what's that topic? Well, the question that I want to bring up today is, how far can the Super Mario Bros. Movie go? Like, how far can it actually go from here on out? So, let me bring you up to speed, shall I? So, the week before it finally became worldwide and everything like that, it hit $900 million at the box office. $900 million. It's already set off multiple records, beating Frozen 2 in terms of its opening weekend, which is absolutely phenomenal. It is automatically being considered the best video game movie thing of all time, so that's crazy. And from the way it looks, it's a very profitable movie. But not only that, it also makes sense in terms of the audience that it's aimed towards. It makes sense in terms of its time, its replayability in theaters and stuff like that. It makes multiple sense and stuff. So, regardless of how you feel between as a critic, or as a fan, or moviegoer, adult, child, whoever it is, doesn't really matter. This movie is doing insanely well, you know? Hitting 900 million, and it's not even at worldwide release yet. So, as of right now, in this recording, right now it is May the 3rd, it has already went through its first initial week of worldwide release. So the question is this: how's it doing right now? It's already went past $1 billion. I mean, is anyone surprised right now? Of course not. I mean, Illumination's already made that bet. We all made that bet. It's like the second it started climbing so quickly, after every single week, hitting another 100 million, hitting another 100 million, hitting another, hitting another, hitting another. It was only a matter of time before it would also be considered a $1 billion profit film. But while that's all great and all that stuff, I want to go deeper in this discussion. And that is, how far can it go? Where am I going with this? Well, let's talk about this for a second. So, first and foremost, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is made by Illuminations. Illuminations, if anyone's been keeping track that is, are the same people who created films like Despicable Me, or The Minions for that matter. Now, here's what's interesting. There are two other films that Illumination has done that has hit the $1 billion mark, as well as being one of the top 50 highest grossing films of all time. Those two films are, of course, Despicable Me 3 and Minions. The first Minions, not the second one, but the first one. Which is insane. Now, as of right now, Super Mario Bros. Movie is within rank 41. So it's already surpassed, according to the listing, it's already done better than Despicable Me. Despicable Me, as of its mark, is $1,034 million. Super Mario Bros. Movie is right now on track of $1,045 million. And I guarantee by the time this video gets released, it will already hit like $1,050 million, I bet. With that said, where does the other film that Illuminations has made, Minions, where is that at? It is at the rank of position 24 of the highest grossing films, being that of $1,159 million. So, that's a high expectation to reach. So, if Super Mario Bros. Movie does better than Minions, then it's already been confirmed by just the chart alone that Illuminations and Nintendo has a longer history track record that they're going to continue making these films, obviously. The fact that Nintendo and Illuminations made this possible and is doing better than any of Illuminations' films, just in terms of profit alone, that's insane. So if this hits better than Minions, then that's it. Illuminations has basically cemented itself with Nintendo. That aside, how much further can it go? Like, yeah, it beat Frozen 2 in the box office, but can it beat Frozen 2 in terms of the highest grossing film of all time? Or, in this case, animated feature film? Where is Frozen 2 at? Well, if we scroll up a little bit higher, Frozen 2 is ranked number 13 with its total market price of $1,450,000,000. So roughly, the Super Mario Bros. Movie would have to, by the end of everything, by the end of all of its theater releases and stuff like that, it would have to make $1,450,000,000, roughly has to do better than just, according to the pricing of $26,000. So in other words, it would have to be $1,450,000,000, $27,000 if it wanted to topple that. So that's interesting. That is interesting. However, though, I'm not looking at Frozen 2. Why am I not looking at Frozen 2? There's another one that I'm looking at. Actually, there's several others that I'm looking at, but I'm climbing up the ranks, if you'll see. You have Spider-Man No Way Home, you have Avengers Infinity War, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and one other film that has been the #1 spot for a long time before the 2000s is Titanic. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio in the Titanic film. Yeah, it's on the #4 spot. And then after that, you have Avatar, The Way of Water. And then after that, you have Avengers Endgame. So what's sitting at the very top of that list? What is sitting at the very top of all of these other films? The #1 highest grossing film is none other than Avatar. No, not this one. This one. Yes, the blue aliens. The Avatar. The James Cameron directed Avatar. The one that a lot of people highly acclaim to be a fantastic film. I've seen it once, and it's alright. It's mostly eye candy. And that is the truth. It's beautiful to look at. How is it in terms of a film? It's alright. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best of the best. But, here's what's crazy. You wanna know what its total gross worth is? It is at $2,923,000,000. Almost $3 billion. Now, the thing is that when they made Avatar The Way of Water, they thought that it would topple that. It did not. As of right now, according to the Wikipedia reading, Avatar The Way of Water is still being shown in select theaters, obviously to try to topple that, which at this current rate in time, I don't think it's going to hit that, and that's a hard reach. That is a hard and nearly impossible reach to make at this point in time. Now, record, Way of Water, it's at $2,319,000,000. Just about, roughly a little over 600 million just to make it there. So that's a little bit of a hard stretch to make it. Now, I know I'm grabbing straws here, but let's go even deeper with this discussion, shall we? Out of all of these films, here's what's even more interesting. The majority of them is at the 1 billion mark, just under 2 billion. But there's only 6 films that have reached above $2 billion. Just 6 films. And that's insane. That's insane to think that only 6 films have ever actually been in the 2 billion mark. So, I know what a lot of people are going to say. Oh, come on. Seriously, there's no way the Super Mario Bros. Movie is even remotely going to hit that. It's not going to hit 2 billion. But hang on just a second. It hit 900 million just in the United States alone. And it's still in theaters right now, technically. It could easily get another 100 million right off the back. And it's just now hitting worldwide, which means it's hitting other countries like the UK. It's hitting South Africa. It's hitting Russia. It's hitting China. It's hitting Australia. Japan is mother country Japan. It's hitting all over the place. Which means you have all these other countries, all these other billions of people who are excited, most likely, to see the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So, even if we were to roughly say, oh, it will easily double that, meaning that it will hit $1.8 billion, which would be insane when you think about it. 1.8 billion, which means if it did a little bit better, it will probably easily be in the number 7 marking if it was to stop there. it will most likely probably hit 2 billion. I know people are going to think that that's a far estimate, and that is very overestimating it. But a small part of me wants to think that it might be possible. But there's even a smaller part of me that wants to see Mario beat Avatar. I'm very petty, I know. But I want to see the Super Mario Bros. Movie beat Avatar. And I mentioned it to a couple of friends of mine. I said, how would you feel if the Super Mario Bros. Movie beat Avatar? How would you feel about that? Their estimates, they want it to beat Frozen 2. They don't care if it makes it to the very top. They just wanted to see beat Frozen 2. Which is completely understandable. I completely understand it myself. But I wanted to go all the way. It's like, at this point, if we're gonna beat Frozen 2, let's see if we can't go all the way. Let's just make it past all the way up to Avatar. And even if we have to be a little bit more, I wanted to hit that 3 billion. I wanted to be the first film to hit that 3 billion mark. It's an insane jump. I get it. It's an insane jump. But I want it to happen. Because imagine how many messages it would send if the Super Mario Bros. Movie actually went to 3 billion and became the world's highest grossing film. It would set off so many signals. Number one, it's an animated film, which means it would finally shut Hollywood up into saying, oh, animated films is only for kids. Well, I beg to pardon you, but I still watch animated films, and I most certainly still watch some of the older animated films. And yes, I don't watch every new animated film that comes out, but there's some good ones that I still like today. And there's not just me and a handful of other people. There are millions of other people, like myself and others, who still watch animated films. So, yeah, fuck off, Hollywood. This would also signal that video game movies are not dead. They're not dead in the water, and they're not a waste of money. They can actually be profitable if done correctly. And in my personal opinion, the Super Mario Bros. Movie was on par, perfectly exactly how the games are portrayed. It done so well. And in my personal opinion, it is really good. I like it just a little bit better than the Sonic films. And I say a little bit because, again, the Sonic films have gotten 2 now. We've got a sequel, and most likely we will see a 3rd one in the up and coming years. The Pokemon Detective Pikachu, I can understand where people are coming from, but I actually liked the film. I enjoy it. So, I want to see more video game reference movies coming out, and really good ones. So, to see the Super Mario Bros. Do so well, and be within the top 50, that is insane. That is insane when you think about it. But will it hit the $2 billion mark? If I had to estimate, I say it will hit 2 billion easily. It will be the number 7 of the 2 billion club of films. I can see that. I can see that. That's not hard to imagine. That's not hard to predict. I can actually see it hit 2 billion. Especially depending on how long it stays in theaters here in the United States. It will easily hit 2 billion with no problem. Will it hit 3 billion though? Being able to surpass Avatar. It's a bit of a stretch. I get it. It's a bit of a stretch. But I still would like to see it actually beat Avatar. I actually want to see it beat Avatar. That would just be so hilarious. Now, for those of you that are, experts when it comes to money transactions and stuff like that, well, there's a problem with that. What about those that are like within inflations? That's an interesting question because, yes, inflation does play a part. Because since Avatar was released in theaters, that has been over 10 years ago. We've had a lot has happened and price has went up over the years, which means inflation definitely plays a big part. Now, here's the thing. If we were to include inflations, Avatar would still technically beat the Super Mario Bros. Movie just on inflation alone. Because if you were to include inflation, that is $3,824 million with inflation. That is a high margin. So it would be hard to see the Super Mario Bros. Actually do that when you include inflation. But it will not make that, because there's actually a film, regardless of how you feel about it, there is a film that is better than Avatar, Titanic, all these other films in terms of inflation. It is done the best, and it is considered the highest grossing film when including inflations. Want to know what that film is? It's a film called Gone with the Wind. For those of you that might be familiar with that film, that's a bit of a controversial film. I haven't seen it myself, but people that I've heard that have seen the film, they say it's good. Based on the time period that it's based around and stuff like that, I can see where the discussion problem, the problem coming to be and stuff like that. But really, in all honesty, I don't know if it's enough to say that it just needs to be canceled altogether. It's a film that hasn't seen a re-release, much less a remake, in years, and its last known release, which was in theaters, was 1939. We're talking about a film that's almost 100 years old, so why are we talking about it now? Obviously for the discussion's sakes and stuff like that, but inflation alone on that one is $4.192 billion. So I don't see Super Mario Bros. Movie hitting that $4 billion. That's a hard margin to meet, much less a $3.9 billion. I just wanted to hit the $3 billion and beat Avatar. It might hit it. It would be hard to do, but it just might hit it. And like I said before, that would be insane if it did. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about all this? Do you think that the Super Mario Bros. Movie has a chance? Do you think that they can beat Avatar? Do you really think that they can do it? Yeah, it might be Frozen 2. It just might. And it just might hit $2 billion. But can it beat the almighty powerful Avatar? Can it beat that? Hard to say, but I'm rooting for it. I'm rooting for the Super Mario Bros. Movie to do better. I want it to hit that official almost $3 billion. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Catch you guys later.